All right, Shalom, Shalom. I'd like to start off first and foremost by giving all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, B'chah HaKodesh. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, rule and teach well. Peace, love, salutations, and blessings to those that are doing this work in truth and in sincerity. This is your brother Nathan Yalla from the GMS Camp Atlanta, coming back at you through the Spirit with another lesson, and I'm praying and hope this lesson is edifying. All right, now, I have a video of China basically boasting about their strength and how if America does this, then this is what's going to happen. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna play the video, but I'm gonna start off with a quick precept. All right, because I want you to understand what's happening. This is again prophecy. It's coming to pass. All right before your eyes. So this is Isaiah 14:10, and it says, "All they shall speak and say unto thee, Art thou also become weak as we? Art thou become like unto us?" All right, because the other nations are being very boastful now about challenging America. All right, challenging the powers that be. Okay. And of course, America is going to do what America does. However, it's not going to work out the same as it's always been. All right. So I'm going to play this video, and then it's not going to be long. Grab a couple precepts, and then we're going to go ahead and close this thing out.
China will not fire the first shot, but China will not allow you to fire the second shot. China will never allow the United States to launch a war against China, conventional or nuclear, without suffering devastating consequences. If you have not watched the Victory Day parade in Beijing on September the 3rd, one of the weapons China demonstrated, we call it 61, because it can contain 60 nuclear warheads plus one hydrogen bomb. Now, in the world of today, let me tell you, which country has hydrogen bomb? China is the only country with hydrogen bomb. And that ICBM can cover every corner of the world in less than 20 minutes and destroy any target in any corner of the world without any possibility of being intercepted. I hope Washington has learned the lesson. If you want to have war, you will get war. If you want to destroy China, you will be destroyed. If you want to impose nuclear war on China, you will be wiped out by nuclear war. This is very serious. China's policy is very...
Now, you heard, y'all brothers heard that, right? You heard that, okay? You heard that, hey, he's saying, hey, you're going to be wiped out. Y'all going to be destroyed. Now, let's look up what? So I looked this up. What is more powerful, a hydrogen bomb or a nuclear bomb, right? And it says a hydrogen bomb is significantly more powerful than an atomic bomb, which is an older type of nuclear weapon. Hydrogen bombs or thermonuclear weapons have both nuclear fusion like an atomic bomb and nuclear fission to release energy, resulting in a much larger and more powerful explosion. Okay, so atomic bombs, which are nuclear bombs, rely on nuclear fission, the splitting of heavy atoms like uranium or plutonium to create an explosion. Hydrogen bombs, thermonuclear bombs, a more advanced weapon that uses fission. So fission, I believe, is when they put atoms together, which is like combining of light atomic nuclear, like or isotopes of hydrogen. Okay, yield the fusion process And a hydrogen bomb releases far greater amount of energy than fission. Okay? So fission is when you split atoms, fusion is when you put things together. Meaning hydrogen bombs can have yields of hundreds to thousands of times that of an atomic bomb. You hear that? So a hydrogen bomb has hundreds to thousands of times more deadly than a nuclear bomb. Now let's ask it another question. Alright, so how much can a nuclear bomb destroy? It says a nuclear bomb destructive capacity varies significantly with the yield. Let's do how much can a high kiloton if I spelled that right. It'll straighten it out. My bad. It says a high kiloton nuclear bomb, such as one that is 10 kilotons, can destroy a large area with a shock wave, damage extent up to half a mile, and several thermal damages to a mile, potentially causing massive infrastructure damage and hundreds of thousands of fatalities. In an urban area, along with lasting radioactive effects, the exact destruction varies depending on the factors like the yield of the bomb and the type of environment it detonates. Okay, so basically, I would estimate that it probably could destroy a small city. Okay, now let's see how much can a high yield hydrogen bomb can obliterate a city. Okay, so a high yield hydrogen bomb can obliterate a city. So I was wrong. A hydrogen bomb can obliterate a city. A nuclear bomb probably obliterate a small town, something like that, causing complete destruction within miles of ground zero and rendering a large area uninhabitable for a significant distance due to the shock wave. Thermal radiation and fallout. The specific destruction radius varies by yield, with the 50 megaton Tazar bomb, for example, is capable of vaporizing targets with dozens of miles and causing severe damage up to 150 miles away. Y'all hear that? One hydrogen bomb can destroy something, can destroy up to 150 miles away. That means that if you're in the city of Atlanta and you think that just because you're 70 miles away in the suburbs and they drop that thing in Atlanta, you're going to get hit. And this is 150 miles in every direction from ground zero. So that means that one nuclear bomb can destroy an entire city. Hell, like 3 of them boys can destroy a whole entire, probably a whole entire country down there. 3 or 4 of them strategically placed. Okay, and he's saying that they can get to you in 20 minutes. 20 minutes, they can drop that thing on you anywhere in the world. 20 minutes. Did y'all hear that? What he said? Let's play it back one more time.
Very clear. China will not fire the first shot, but China will not allow you to fire the second shot. China will never allow the United States to launch a war against China, conventional or nuclear, without suffering devastating consequences. If you have not watched the Victory Day parade in Beijing on September the 3rd, one of the weapons China demonstrated, we call it 61, because it can contain 60 nuclear warheads plus 1 hydrogen bomb. Now, in the world of today, let me tell you, which country has hydrogen bomb? China is the only country with hydrogen bomb. And that ICBM can cover every corner of the world in less than 20 minutes and destroy any target in any corner of the world without any possibility of being intercepted. I hope Washington has learned the lesson. If you want...
You hear that? And they be China being boastful with it. China being boastful with it, like, hey. So let's speak on the let's go to Joel, the 3rd chapter, man. Let's go to Joel, the 3rd chapter. Alright, so it's Joel 3 and 10, and it says, start at verse 9, it says, proclaim ye among the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. Okay, so we see this right now. We see the armies of the world mounting. All right, we see the armies of the world, everything coming together, right? We see the Euphrates River drawing up. We see it drying up. We see all of the armies of the world in an uproar, right? We see that, right? And who they're uproar against? Babylon. It says, beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Now, those are all agricultural tools. Now, in the modern day, that would probably be your budget, your agricultural budget, okay? Your budget that you're going to use to spend on agriculture, right? So instead of, using that budget to farm, which they still farm, but they can put more money into farming if they weren't putting more money into war. They get way more abundance. But so now they're putting a lot of their budgets into weapons technologies and weapons development, right? So they're taking all of that money that they would otherwise put into food and building their culture and their economy into war. Okay, so that's what's happening with that. All right, so they're effectively using their agricultural finances in a lot of cases and defer that money to military and weapons development. Okay, it says assemble yourselves. You see, so now these they're assembling themselves. They're building up their armies. They're bringing their armies to certain points. They're drawing red lines in the sand. It says, and all ye come up, and come up, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together about thither. Salakia. I'm gonna read that again. Assemble yourselves, and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about thither. Cause the mighty ones to come down, O Lord. Let the heathen wake. Let the heathen be wakened, and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat. For there will I sit to judge the heathen round about. All right, and I believe if you go into that word judge, let's go to it. Oop. It says judge, govern, vindicate, punish. Okay? So we don't need to go no further than that, because that's exactly what the Lord is going to do. The Lord is going to punish the heathen. Why? For what they did to the Israelites. Okay? So that's where that punishment is coming from. So it says, so now we're going to go to Joel, the 2nd chapter. No, actually, before we go to Joel, the 2nd chapter, let me go to Obadiah. Obadiah 1. This is Obadiah 1. It says, the vision of Obadiah. Thus saith the Lord power concerning Edom. We heard a rumor from Yahweh. An ambassador is sent among the heathen. Arise ye, and let us rise up against her in battle. You see that? So, hey, we're in a time where Edom is about to be the final showdown between Edom and the heathen. And the heathen gonna push and gonna push them buttons and keep pushing them damn buttons. Okay, and the missiles gonna fly. It says, behold, I have made thee small among the heathen, thou art greatly despised. Now, there's a video that I watched, and it was talking about birth rates here in America and how the birth rates in America are low, but over where the little hats are, right? They're having 3 to 1 for every child, for every woman that's able to be of childbearing years. 3 to 1. She's having 3 children. So that's a little tidbit right there. It says, verse 2 again, I have made thee small among the heathen, thou art greatly despised. You see that? So the other nations hate Esau, and that is becoming blatant apparent because they're being very, very boastful. Before, they wouldn't talking no shit like this. Now these other nations are definitely getting to the point to where they're ready to hit the button. They're ready to press the button. They're ready to show their power. And they're waiting on America to basically do something. Do something then. You see? Do something. It says, verse 3, it says, the pride of thy heart have deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rocks, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down? You see, when it comes to Esau Edom, right? Esau Edom thinks that because he has conquered the world through violence, right? Through his gift, through through the sword. He thinks that because he was able to conquer the world through violence, that he can't be conquered from violence. That he can't be destroyed with the same violence that he has been inflicting upon the world. Absolutely. That's exactly how you're going to go out, my man. Okay, you're going to go out with great violence, because with the great violence you came into power. So with the great violence you're going to be destroyed. Okay, you think that it can't happen to you, but indeed it will. Okay, it says, though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, because the eagle is the highest flying bird. Okay, you can't have nobody fly higher than you. And set thy nest among the stars, thence I will bring thee down, saith the Lord. You see? So Yahweh Shem Yahushai is going to bring you down. All right? And he's going to use the other nations to do it. All right? And how is he going to do that? Well, he's going to do that going back to the book of Joel, the 2nd chapter. He's going to do it with the armies of the world, like we just brought out in the 3rd chapter. But he's also going to use these thermonuclear missiles. Okay? So I'm just going to read from the top down all the way to verse 7 or 8. Okay? So you can understand the magnitude of what's about to happen. All right? Because when he said 60 warheads plus an hydrogen bomb, that's not no joke, man. They can take out an entire state with one missile. Do you get that? One state with one missile. That is ridiculous. So now when we talk about the scriptures, 100 million missiles, 200 million missiles, right? Now we understand why it's going to be so many. All right. So I'm going to read this. So this is Joel chapter 2 verse 1. It says, blow ye a trumpet in Zion, and sound the alarm in my holy mountain. Let all the inhabitants of the land tremble, for the day of the Lord cometh, for it is nigh at hand. A day of darkness and a day of gloominess, a day of clouds and a day of thick darkness. As the morning spreads upon the mountains, a great people and strong. There hath not been ever the like, neither shall there be any more after, even to the years of many generations. Okay, now listen close. It says, a fire devoureth before them, behind them a flame burneth. The land is a garden of Eden before them, and behind them a desolate wilderness. Yea, and nothing shall escape them. You hear that? What does that sound like? Doesn't that sound a lot like that hydrogen bomb that he was talking about dropping? He dropped that thing in a place that's well populated. Boom. Everything is instantly vaporized. The buildings, the trees, the people, the dogs, the cats, the insects. Listen, I don't care what these damn white people say about cockroaches. If they're standing in the way of a blast of a thermonuclear explosion, they're going to die. they're going to get vaporized. Okay? Just like everything else. Alright? They be coming up with this stupid ass shit talking about how things survive. Nothing. You hear what the scriptures say? It says, and nothing. What does nothing mean? It means nothing shall escape. Okay? Everything is going to be wiped out. Everything is going to be destroyed when these bombs drop. Alright? And it's going to be what they call nuclear fallout. Nuclear winter. This shit is going to last for a very long time. That's why America is going to be a desert. Because it's not going to stop burning for a very long time. Okay? We're talking about 200 million missiles. Okay, that's a lot of missiles. Alright, so this thing, that's why the scripture says it's going to look like a lake of fire. Because it's going to literally be a fire from sea to shining sea. The land cannot be cleansed but by the blood of him who shed blood. And that's you Edomites. You and you Jakes, okay? Y'all all are descendants of bloodshedders. Okay? Verse 4, it says, the appearance of them is as the appearance of horses and horsemen, so shall they run. Like the noise of a chariot on top of the mountains, they're making a loud noise, right? They shall leap like the noise of the flame that devoureth the stubble, as a strong people set in battery array. They're going to be in uniform. Okay, the missiles going to be coming in rank and file. Before their face, the people shall be much pained. All faces shall gather blackness. All right, they shall run like mighty men. They shall climb the wall like men of war, and they shall march every one on his way. They shall not break their ranks. Okay, remember what I was just saying? Okay, these uniforms are going to be, these missiles are going to be uniform. Okay, you're not going to be able to stop them. Neither shall one thrust one another. They're not going to hang them, no accidents where they just hit one another. Right? They shall walk every one in his path. Wherever that targeting system send those missiles, that's where they're going. And when they fall upon the sword, they shall not be wounded. They're going to do their intended job, what they were designed to do, which was to destroy. Okay? They shall run to and fro in city. They shall run upon the walls. They shall climb upon the houses. They shall enter into the windows like a thief. The earth shall quake before them. The heavens shall tremble. The sun and the moon shall be dark. The star and the stars shall withdraw their shine. That's because it's going to be so much smoke in the air from all of these thermonuclear missiles that have pelted the earth. It's not just going to be America. Everybody going to get some, but America going to get it the worst. Okay? So, y'all see it, Hey, look. China
talking. To have war, you will get war.
You see that? So we're going to end it off that. America wants war. America going to get war. All right? And they're not going to like it. All right? Because this ain't a war of men. This is a war of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. And the Lord is putting these things into action. All right? So with that, I pray this was an edifying lesson. I'm going to end it off by giving all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, Bashem Rakal Kadesh. Double honor to our elders and the apostles, and Shalom.